Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm just trying to, yeah, put the thing on my phone, the volume on my phone, just trying to lower it. I never get this laptop right. Let's see. I'd like it to be a bit higher, actually. Something like this, I think. Maybe like that. Give it to do. Greetings, everyone. Nice to see you all again. Thank you to the people who recently joined my YouTube channel. Thank you for coming on board. It's nice to have a few more extra people. Obviously, my channel is still growing, and I'm grateful for anyone who subscribes to it. And I tell people, you don't have to listen to anything I say, just subscribe so that you help me. These are like, family and friends, or people I know, or people I think, happy to help. Lockdown and lock in and all the rest of it is terrible. But I can't complain too much. I can't complain too much. And the reason for that is that I think that if you're healthy, you really shouldn't complain, particularly if you're in a country where there's so many people dying of COVID, able to do things that other people can't do. And so we've got to join the effort. Everyone, each of us have to join in the effort to keep well, to keep ourselves well and on. And one of the ways that we can limit our chances is by not going out and making sure that we keep to all those rules that we've been keeping to since last year. So it's a never-ending battle. In Australia, where I'm from, there's been a resurgence of COVID, second wave, if you like. Now, of course, the incidence is quite low there, but it's still there, and people, a few people are dying, maybe up to about 50, something like that. But it's still serious because obviously we have other things that are problematic. Which brings me to my topic for today, which I wanted to talk about. And if there's anybody out there who's listening and wants to join in, please do. Now, and my entire life I've worked, either work proper, like as in formal employment, or worked at home, or raised my son, or, sort of done things to, golly, look, it says that my connection is unstable. I can't believe that. It said that my internet connection was unstable. Oh, I'm on. Somebody fed me some batteries. They opened my little flap at the back. This is my imaginary flap. I haven't got a flap. I'm just imagining that I have got a flap. So they opened up the flap at the back and they fed me some batteries. And these batteries have been going on since day one. Because I'm always busy. I've always got something I'm onto, something I'm doing and something I'm involved in. And that is a side of my full-time job that, whatever position I'm in at whatever period in my life. So that's just me. That's how I am, and that's possibly how I will continue to the end of my days. But the thing that I was thinking about today, in fact, was, we all have our problems, don't we? And we worry oftentimes about, how can I get this out? Look at my mug of tea, by the way, folks. Yeah. Yep, I've got about 4 tea bags in there, 4. So I'm a proper tea drinker. Anyway, quick drink. But the thing that I was thinking about is that we all have our problems, that we have things that worry us, and issues that we'd like to resolve, stuff that stops us from sleeping at night, whether it's family issues or personal or financial or the future. Each of us have our own problems. And sometimes, like, I spend a bit of time sort of watching the news and looking at how other people live in other parts of the world, what's going on with, particularly if the population is a deprived one, because that's what interests me. Okay, so if they are, I don't know, say out in China, for example, and it's a particularly um, uh, difficult place to live, and they have trouble getting access to resources, food, or not enough crops growing, that sort of thing. I would be interested in looking at stuff like that. And oftentimes we forget that whatever problems that we're going through, other people are as well going through their own issues. And it's very easy to sort of be bogged down by, your own community and what's happening there, and forget that in this world that we live in, we all have issues and we all have our problems. And sometimes, you've got to like just go out of your circle of friends or communities, if you like, and see how other people are dealing with their problems to give you some ideas, out of the box ideas, I call them, some ideas on how it is that you ought to progress. And I do that quite a bit. I watch people who do stuff on YouTube, and I think, well, that might work in our context if we move this thing that way, or if we change the other thing. And yeah, it's very interesting. you know um Recently, one of the things that I was thinking about as well was that, like some of us who are immigrants, like you go to a country, you have your family there, you grow your children, and so on and so forth. And obviously you're different to other people in the country, and sometimes it's difficult for the children to be able to adapt to the culture at home and the culture outside. Because when you're from somewhere else, you try as best as you can to maintain your original culture, because that's what you know and that's what's most familiar to you. And sometimes the children resent this because they're going out and they're experiencing different things, and they're mixing with the host culture more so in a more sort of different way, because they're going to school. And if they're at school, they are more infused with whatever it is going on in the country that you've moved to. And so oftentimes this brings in a clash between the parents and the children, if the parents are from somewhere else. And I've seen this over the years working in the health service. I've seen this quite a bit in various communities, whether they are African or Asian or, something like that. And the children struggle to buy into the original culture of the parents, because oftentimes their friends and their ideas and everything that it is about them is immersed in the host culture. Now, these are very, very tricky things to balance and to deal with. You need a lot of support and encouragement to help your children be flexible within the two cultures, so that they can gain the benefit, the best of both. Do you know what I mean? And I've listened to lots of people over the years. It's not easy, but one of the ways that people can do it is every so often to make sure that they are regularly visiting people from your own background and culture, or visiting if you can afford it, because immigrants oftentimes don't have enough money to be carting their children back to the home country. And if they've come from a home country where there's a lot of war and strife and trouble, they don't want to go back there actually. So they've got to make do with whatever resources they've got to hand where they are, to keep the interest of the children in their original culture. Yeah. So these were some of the things that I was thinking about, and wanting to encourage people, that saying that all is not lost in life. whatever issues you're going through, whatever problems, I bet you there's somebody out there who is going through perhaps worse issues or twice as bad and is about to, suffer something that you would think, oh, I'm quite lucky I'm not in that situation. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so lots of things flowing through my mind as always. I did say at the beginning that I'm one of those people whom my mind's always on overdrive. I'm always thinking through stuff and issues and stories and so on and so forth. And I think that keep generally I like to keep an open mind, and I do like to encourage others to keep an open mind as well, and to keep positive in what they are doing. And I realize that it's not so easy. You can't just do it like that, and it takes a while. Some of these issues require practice. It requires you to constantly be thinking about the positives and being grateful and looking at your issue with gratitude. And if you practice it, that begins to get you to a point where you are thankful. Really, you find solutions for the problems that you do have, but you remain grateful for those things that are in your life, which are quite positive. And I personally think being alive in itself is a positive thing. It's the most positive thing, in fact, and enjoying good health or enjoying reasonable health in the face of what's going on in the world. I mean, you can't get better than that. You literally can't get better than that. So once those two things are okay, then you can begin to, fight and bat around and sort out the other problems. The rest of life, I find, you can work your way through it. And persistence is key with anything and with any situation. I tell you, I've been in I've had issues with certain things, which I'm not going to mention what they are, but I've just kept on. I've persisted every single day. I've looked at it and I've done one little thing to bring me that bit closer to what it is that I want to achieve. Um, you know, you just have to keep at it. And if you have somebody who's encouraging you along in the right direction, even better. But if you don't, you yourself will have to find encouragement from someplace. Talk to somebody that you have faith in, that is an encouraging person, and hopefully they'll come alongside you and be able to support you. There are lots of ways that you can look for what it is that you need out there. Yeah, life is hard, isn't it? I could go on. I could actually go on because there's one more story that I've got of something that happened to me recently. And I could talk about that, but I think I'll leave it for another day because I've done just under 15 minutes. I don't like to labor the point too much. But thank you again for the new people that joined my channel. I am grateful. If you can, please comment on this. If there's any aspect of it that thank you very much. If there's any aspect of it that you think is useful, thank you. If there's any aspect of it which you think is useful, chime in and share if you can. Yeah, it's great to have people on board, and it's great to have comments, and it's great that people are actually listening to what I'm saying. But thanks very much. All the best. Have a lovely day. All the best.